not the boss.
I'm not the boss. Hey there, thanks for watching. Christiana on the Well-Behaved Wallet here. So I'm always talking about my mom. I mention her a lot, and I mentioned her specifically a few videos back, and some of you had asked if you could meet her. So I thought since we both have some time on our hands, now might be a fun time to do a Q&A about living at home, and just so you guys can meet her. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently roomies with my mom in the house that I grew up in. A couple years ago when I moved back to the area, we kind of both decided together that it would be a good situation if we join forces to kind of keep up the house and be able to keep it in the family and sort of share expenses. So currently that's our living setup. I help out, I pay all utilities and half the mortgage. So we're kind of banding together in these reduced financial times to get through this. So I thought also it might be fun because I know some of you out there also live with your parents kind of in an intergenerational setting, and I thought it might be cool to do sort of a tag, like a living an intergenerational tag. So I'll leave some questions down in the description box, and I would love to hear your answers if you're currently in an intergenerational living situation. I think it's cool to sort of share experiences and strength and hope and good memories to kind of band together all together for those of us who are in similar situations. And even if you're not, I thought it might be fun for you to get to know my mom. So without further ado, I'll bring her on. So this is my mom, Elizabeth.
Hello.
She's saying hi.
Hi.
So, because we're both quarantined together, we've been spending a lot of time just kind of chilling out, and I think it's been a lot of fun. It's been great. Because normally I never see her because she's off. She starts at like 5 in the morning. She goes and takes her 6 a.m. yoga class, and then she's off and meeting with people and doing stuff. So I think this time to like be together is really been nice. We watch Netflix, we make food and go for walks. So right.
Yeah, stay up late.
Stay up. We do. We stay
Not good.
inside. That part's not good. So, kind of like I mentioned, I thought it'd be cool to do some questions to kind of have her answer some questions that you guys have asked about her, so you can hear her point of view, because I know I talk about her a lot, but this is kind of her perspective and what she thinks. So, I'll kind of start with what she's been doing lately, what she's been up to, because you guys know that she's been abroad, and kind of she can give you her thoughts on that, and her reaction to what I did in the house while she was away. And then we'll get into answering those questions for the intergenerational tag. So she was out of the country for 6 months, and kind of what were the best parts and the worst parts about being abroad?
The best was the friendships that I made at the guest house I was working at.
National Trust.
National Trust Guest House. Have to be very
specific, but also
judicious on
yes.
this.
Mm-hmm.
People from around the world. I now have friends who are from around the world.
That's cool.
I roomed with a gal from Belgium and a gal from South Korea. I'm still in contact with them. Brazil, England, all over the place.
Just for you to know, like, this is not unusual for her. She has friends from all over. She's a world traveler. I can't keep up. She's exhausted.
Poland, oh my goodness, Australia, oh, New Zealand. Oh, it's just, that was priceless. And the people, the locals there that I also was able to make friends with are priceless.
Cool.
So that was the best.
Okay. And the worst, or the not the best?
Not the best. Worst were the work hours.
And it was hard work too, right?
It was
like
very
physical,
it was labor intensive.
Because she was serving. You were doing food service.
Food service, food prep, food. And that was hard physical labor. And that, it was a joy, but it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard labor.
For sure. I have to also say that, so her Christmas gift to me while she was away, I got this like packet, like a little envelope, and I opened it, and it was a cookbook of all the recipes that she learned, and that different people contributed. So she's always been super creative and very like, she contributes a lot like that, or that's how kind of she brought us up to be very creative and resourceful. So thank you for that. That's really cool. Also, so I wanted to ask, because people had wondered, I had this big video of me doing a clean out and decluttering the house. And people had asked, what was your reaction upon returning to the house and finding this space kind of newly decluttered?
It was fabulous.
You heard it from her.
I was overjoyed.
She's happy
with what I came back to, because I did not know what a mess I had left until I reviewed her video.
See, that's so...
And it was...
People were looking out for you. They didn't want you to be surprised.
It was... After the flight, and I came back, I left the 15th and I came back the 16th.
So she left
January.
of January.
And those 15 days, those last 15 days were really hard physically and emotionally. And to come home to a clean, organized space where I could just put my head down and not worry about anything was wonderful. So thank you very much. I
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
I'm glad you did. I had fun doing it.
And she could do it for others.
I could. I'm very good. I'm accepting commissions now. Okay, so these are the 4 questions that I'm going to put in that intergenerational living tag, because we've been living together for a couple of years now again. So what happened was, I went to school, I graduated, I lived at home for a bit, and then I worked abroad for a bit. And then when I moved back to the area, we kind of decided that it would be better to combine our resources, to join forces and stay in this house and keep it together, to kind of make the best of our joint financial situation. So we try to share expenses pretty evenly. It's not like a free ride at all, right? And I try to pitch in with the housework, right? So I'm not just kind of like I'm not like freeloading her. She's been doing the dishes a lot lately, which is why. So these are the 4 questions, and I'm gonna post them down below. So the first question is, what's the best part of sharing space together, would you say?
The best part, I think, is just knowing someone else is there.
Oh.
And that the space that we're sharing has another frequency in it.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Late at night.
Yeah, that too.
I'm the one. No one's going to break in over here.
Yeah, no. Just that commonality of being together.
Yeah, I'd say.
Although...
What? Okay, save that for the worst. Is there a but in there?
No, we are like ships in the night.
Yeah.
You know,
we
I
almost never
sometimes see her literally as she's pulling out of the driveway and I'm pulling in.
Yeah.
Whether it's from my walk or from my class or whatever.
Classes.
You know, and just say, hi, bye.
Yeah, which is why...
Whatever.
When I was working from home, it was kind of... We were both excited because it's a chance to see each other, because we almost never do.
As she is working from home.
As I am working from home, right?
Yeah.
I'd say the same. It's nice to have another person around. Yeah, so that's my best too. Okay, so question number 2 is, what's the worst part of sharing space, would you say?
She thinks she can boss me around.
It's true. I'm very bossy.
She's not the boss of me.
I'm very bossy.
She's not the boss of me.
Yeah,
I'm my boss.
Yes. I would not say that's the worst for me, because I feel like you're very good about boundaries, and you don't boss me around, which is nice.
I try not.
She doesn't. She's very good. She's very wise like that. I don't know what my worst is. I think for me, the worst, being the daughter, is feeling like I'm kind of stuck in place. Like I'm back to where I was when I was 10 years old. So that's frustrating for me, because I feel like I should be further along at this point. I should be able to like have my own space and have you move in with me, although I am trying to, pay my way. It's frustrating for me. So that's probably the worst for me, but that's on me, and I'm the only one that can change that. So that's probably my worst. Question 3 is, what were some of your best memories from childhood? Because you were there. And just to kind of, as a note, like, as you may know, we don't necessarily look the same. So she's my actual mom. Like, she gave birth to me. But my dad's Korean, which is why I kind of represent a different continent. It was funny because we were at a dentist office once, and the receptionist, like, did a double take. She looks at me and she looks at my mom. And she's like, oh my gosh, she didn't know we were related. She's like, Elizabeth, that girl looks like you, only Asian. And I'm like, yeah. So that's why we look different.
Yeah.
But we were together for all of childhood. She was present for all of my childhood. So what were your best memories?
Best memories of Christiana's childhood were her request for a violin.
Oh, yeah. I like that too.
And how that played out.
Aww.
That was that was typical.
Yeah.
Of her. I'm just hanging on for dear life. And that was probably the first, well, maybe not the first, but the biggest adventure that we have. And it continues.
That's true.
It continues. We just went into the city for a concert.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
After I got back.
Yeah, with my student, we went into the city for an avocational volunteer concert at this huge, gorgeous cathedral space, and I played with one of my students, and Mom was able to come, and his parents, my students' parents, were able to come, so it was a neat sort of another intergenerational type experience. So, oh, that's cool. That was a good memory. Well, I wouldn't say that was good, because it was a challenge for both of us to kind of learn how to manage the practice time. I would say that was a big challenge. That was a challenge. Which today, parenting has changed so much, I think. Because she was very much the parent. Like, we were not, it was not a best friend situation growing up at all. Like, she was in charge. I did not have a say. Like, I was the child, and I had to do what she said. And, like, she would look at me wrong, and I would, like, straighten up. Like, I was terrified of her growing up. And I think that
what did I carry in my purse?
Oh my gosh. So we'd be out shopping, and if either me or my sister misbehaved, she would say that we needed to have a conference. Now, conference was code word for you're going to get a whooping. Like, that was...
I was one of those parents.
Yes, very much. So I grew up with very strong boundaries and discipline. But I think that the challenge in that was, I don't think we really learned to work together until adulthood, until I was in
Until you left.
Until I left. It's true. Yeah. So, or yeah.
Yeah, no, then because you were gone and I had to ship things to you. Emergency things.
Well, no, I'm talking about before I left, and we had that big long discussion about growing up and how I was so angry that I felt like you made all these mistakes. Right? Do you remember that? That like 4 hour?
I'm sure you do.
Right? I'm the memory keeper, yeah. But then I feel like it was like a chance for us to interact as adults, because I had gone away to college and you made me, I went to school like 20 minutes away, but I couldn't come home. So it was really like I moved out. She wouldn't let me come home, which was great. But I really had to kind of fend for myself. And I feel like we kind of got to know each other and resolve issues from the past in living together. So I think that's kind of an added bonus for sure. But so I guess to say that the reason I'm mentioning this is because practicing was not easy, because I don't feel like we worked as a team then. I feel like it was her trying to tell me what to do and me being like, hey, you're not the boss of me. So that was a challenge, but I feel like if we'd worked together, it could have been different. But then again, at the same time, she was very much the parent in charge. And I always felt like I had the security of knowing that I wasn't in charge, like I wasn't responsible for so much. She was the mom and she was going to take care of it. And I really, kind of looking back on that, I really appreciate that, because she sacrificed a lot to be mom and not best friend. And I don't understand that even still, but the older I get, the more I realize what she gave up to be that kind of a mom who took charge. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So question number 4 is, what are your hopes for the future? What do you hope for the future? I know. I like that too.
Well, she has a good relationship with her sister now.
Oh, yeah.
And her sister's husband, and I guess my prayer is that she has a good relationship with the man of her dreams.
It's very true. Me too. I hope that too. I hope he has a good relationship with me, really.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's good. So my hope, I got a list a mile long, but I think the same. I think ultimately relationships are what it comes down to, and no matter what goes right or goes wrong, I think if you can have love and hold love and respect for the people in your life, that's the most important thing. I would like eventually to take more of the financial burden. That's something I think about a lot. So, I mean, a lot. So that's my hope, is that I can be more responsible for that. And it's hard because you get stuck in this cycle of like, I wish I could do more, but I feel like I can't do more. It's hard to kind of get those things up and started, but I realize that a lot of my hopes for the future are to have, that's number one, to be able to take care of the people I love, but also to have like an even better space, because I feel like this house is really so like in terms of the space, because I think even if I had my own house, I'd want you to be around, right? Like if I had a family, I'd love for you to be around.
Or you can come visit.
I can go. Or I could come visit, because her goal is to. Well, that's a plan, right? She wants to live abroad. She wants to spend time abroad, and that's always been the goal. Like ever since I was little, like she'd always wanted to be abroad. She's always traveled. Like we always. We spent her 50th birthday in the Czech Republic. She's half Czech and half Swedish. So I think my hopes are that we have enough money to fund our dreams, and that the space that we're in would just continue to be loved and cherished and appreciated, and would serve us, and we would be good stewards of what we have. So yeah, that's my hope for the future. Oh, cool. Oh, so thanks,
Spunky.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So this is my mom.
Thanks for introducing me, and nice to meet you.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed meeting her, and thank you as always for watching, and I hope you'll keep watching. Bye.
Bye.
Oh.